Hey everybody, today on Northern Revolutions, I'm going to do a response video to a thread that's going around in the vinyl community right now. Your top 10 Aerosmith songs. So stay tuned. Hey vinyl community, welcome to Northern Revolutions. My name's Rob. Welcome back if you're returning. Welcome if you're new. So today's video, be a short one. It's going to be a response video to a thread in the vinyl community of your top 10 favorite Aerosmith songs. So this was started over on the flip side vinyl community with JC. He did his top 10 Aerosmith songs. I don't know that he intended it to be a thread, that the rest of the community would pick up on it, but that seems to have been what happens. But a day or so after he did his video, I saw Chris Prophy over at Musically Obsessed. He did one. And then another channel that I subscribe to, Robert's on My Turntable, fellow Canadian who just lives up the highway a couple hours. He did one yesterday on that same topic. So I'm a big Aerosmith fan. I've shown a couple of Aerosmith records in some other videos. So I thought that I would jump on the bandwagon as well. Before I get into it though, if you could do me a favor and hit that like and subscribe button, I would appreciate it. Don't forget that bell notification to let you know when I've uploaded something new. So my top 10 is going to be a little bit different than the ones that I've seen so far. There seems to be a tendency to gravitate towards the first half of Aerosmith's catalog. And the second half largely seems to be ignored. I have some theories why. I think because the late 80s, early 90s stuff was probably a little overplayed. I think people may be burnt out of it. I have some of the big hits in my list of 10. Does that mean I'm any less of an Aerosmith fan than the guys that have picked the deep cuts? No, because I like those deep cuts too. But if I had to pick 10 songs, I've got some hits in here. So anyway, that's my theory. The other thing too is when Aerosmith was in the early prime of their career, like Toys in the Attic era, let's say, their third album, I wasn't even born yet. So I think for the guys or girls that grew up in that era, that's probably their favorite period because that's what they grew up with. When, Pump and Get a Grip came out and exploded and were huge albums, I was like 12. I was 14. Like, that's when I was getting into music. So those are the Aerosmith albums that I grew up with and then discovered the older stuff. So maybe I gravitate to that period a little bit more. Nevertheless, here's my top 10. I've rambled on for long enough. So, number one, and I should say, I didn't rank these in terms of favorite, like number 10 being my least favorite to number 1 being my most favorite. I don't think that I could do that. So I just put them in chronological order from their earliest to their most recent. So in no particular order of preference, I have to pick Dream On. I know everyone goes, it's a big hit. It's a fantastic friggin' song. I love it. It's when I think Aerosmith, this is the song I think. I love it. There you go. Dream On. The next one, this was tough because this is such an amazing album. But if I had to pick one off of here, it's got to be Same Old Song and Dance. Though Lord of the Thighs is very close second. And you know what? You could ask me tomorrow and I could have a different top 10. So today, Same Old Song and Dance. From the previously mentioned Toys in the Attic. And again, this one's really tough. I got to go Walk This Way. It is such an earworm. I mean, I just mentioned the song title, and it's going to be bouncing around in my head for the next 3 hours. Sweet Emotion, again, they're both huge hits, and can't like them because they're big hits. But I mean, everything on here is amazing. Big 10-inch record, Toys in the Attic. I mean, they're all phenomenal. But I had to pick one, Walk This Way. And I think also because it was partially, I mean, it was responsible for the renaissance of Aerosmith's career when they redid it with Run DMC. So I think maybe for historical value, I got to include that as one of the reasons it's one of my 10 favorites. What am I on here? Number 4. Again, damn hard to pick a song off this record because it's so friggin' good. But I'm going to pick Last Child. I love Brad Whitford, and he co-wrote this. It's probably one of his best co-write songs. I mean, but there's so many other great songs here, but I'm going to go with Last Child. Number 5, I think there's a general consensus on this one. Everybody seems to pick Draw the Line, and I would agree. It's bloody awesome. So, although I do really like Milk Cow Blues, but I'm going to go with Draw the Line. Getting into a little more modern stuff, which nobody likes. Off Permanent Vacation, I have to go with Ragdoll. Was my probably the first Aerosmith song that I fell in love with, and I still love it to this day. So, Ragdoll. We come now to the one song that I could say is my absolute favorite Aerosmith song, and always has been. Off of Pump, it's What It Takes. To me, one of the things that makes a great song is that song's ability to forge sort of an emotional or sentimental connection. I remember in my teenage years, a breakup. We've all had them. And the song What It Takes is what I always remember about that. Turns out that particular relationship was virtually inconsequential in the, storyline that has been my life thus far. However, I think that was the first time that a song really resonated with a personal experience for me. So still to this day, it remains my favorite Aerosmith song. What am I on here? Number 8. Off the album that no one shows because it's too commercial. Off of Get a Grip, I got to pick Crying. And the reason I got to pick Crying, I mentioned, when this album came out in 93, I was 14, something like that. That's when I was just getting into music. And this was all over the place. And I'll never forget that music video. And that was really my first introduction to Aerosmith. So for that reason, it's always going to be one of my favorite Aerosmith songs. Number 9. It's not Jaded. It's Just Push Play, the title track off this record. It's another earworm. I just say the title and it starts bouncing around in my head. Just Push Play. Fucking A. I can't get it out of my head. So, again, if a song does that, in most cases, to me, it's a song that I enjoy. So, Just Push Play. And the last one. I love this album and everyone else in the world hates it. I love Honkin' on Bobo. The only time I saw Aerosmith was on this tour. Shame, Shame, Shame. I love it. This is an album of covers. This is a cover from a 1957 song by Smiley Lewis, who was a New Orleans R&B singer. I think it was from a movie initially. I just love that song. There you go. There's my 10 favorite Aerosmith songs. Feel free to roast me in the comments that I don't know anything about music because I like the commercially successful stuff. Whatever. Music's fun. Music is open to interpretation for everybody. So that was a fun top 10. I enjoyed what everyone else has done as well. So Thanks, JC. That was a good thread. So that's all I have for today, everybody. Catch you on the flip side. Bye.